Okay, guys, welcome back to Change Spotlight, where we diving into the another Web3 spotlight, like a projects or from the community. But right now, we have our guest from Tyron DAO. So I know this project is come from ICP, but that is another story. So that's why we invite Tralkan to the space to introduce about their project, to introduce about their self, and explain what they can share to us about the Tyron DAO. So hi Tralkan, how are you?
Hi, Pev, GM, everyone. Glad to be here.
Yeah, GM is for you, but for me right now is good night, GN.
Well, in the crypto world, it's always good. GM is always good.
GM, GN, yeah, you know. So where is your base, Tralkan?
So I'm from Argentina, from the south of the
Oh,
country. Yeah, it's
Argentina.
Argentina. Yes.
Yeah,
So
Argentina.
it's
That
uh, it's
is
it's in the south, called
oh,
Bariloche.
okay, okay, okay. So before we try to dive into Tyrondo and then the other stuff because I have bunch of question for you. Can you let me know and maybe some of listeners get to know about yourself first, like how's your journey in the Web3 and how's your story?
Okay, yeah, definitely. So I'm an engineer from the Buenos Aires Institute of Technology, it's known as ITBA here in Argentina and in the region. So I did a engineering school when I was like in my early 20s, then decided to go traveling to Asia and Australia. And that's when I really got into cryptocurrencies. First, for international payments, it's much easier to send crypto around the world instead of using like Western Union or all the blockchains. So at that time, Bitcoin was still, kind of complex and maybe more difficult to get into it. So I remember that my first cryptocurrencies were more focused on payments, and then that's how I got into it. Sorry, you are muted.
I'm sorry, I muted. So that's the background about you, Tralkan, and I'm glad to hear you how you join into the Web3 space. And how about the Tyrondo? What is the story behind the Tyrondo? How you build the Tyrondo and what the reason that you build Tyrondo?
Yeah, great. So I'm building Tyron DAO with ICP and Silica, but focusing on Bitcoin. So, right now the main narrative, well, it's always been Bitcoin, but now it's also gaining more relevance. That's what people know here in Argentina and in most of the countries. Sometimes they still don't know crypto or other blockchains, but everyone knows Bitcoin. And especially here in this region, we are mining Bitcoin with flare gas, from the different oil fields around this region. So it's turning into something more social, with more, also environmental impact, or how can Bitcoin help, with all that waste gas instead of like just flaring it into the atmosphere. Now we can use it for mining Bitcoin. So it's turning into something very interesting.
Yeah, yeah. So that's one of the I just know from you that's in the Argentina. So people mining Bitcoin from that source. So it's come from like volcano.
No, not here. It's oil and gas fields.
Oh,
So
oil and gas field.
so we have one of the biggest reserves of unconventional resources here in the south. I actually did my Bachelor of Engineering in energy resources, specifically oil and gas. So knowing how to use that gas to then mine Bitcoin will be also part of my personal experience. Although now I'm much more focused on protocol engineering with Tyron DAO. So basically, how we can use these new technologies for new systems like stablecoins, and that's the main product of Tyron DAO. It's a USD pegged stablecoin called Siron USD.
Yeah, yeah. That's what I'm going to talk to ask to you, Tralkan, because When I look into your website about the Tyron DAO, we have the space before. So let 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 back to explain again about the Siren USD, because I think this is not just another stablecoin. So what makes Siren USD like unique, and also why it's going to be important for the Bitcoin DeFi?
Yeah, that's a really good question. So, I was starting into cryptocurrencies with payments. So it was like sending remittances, moving money abroad. And actually, that's one of the main use cases for blockchain technology. The whole like payments industry is huge. And there's like many new use cases with e-commerce here, in the region and around the world. So it was the idea was okay, what we can do to help, or to contribute to this current situation where the technology is advancing, but unfortunately, sometimes the issues, social problems still remain, and economic problems. Like Argentina, we have had crazy inflation. When I was a kid, the peso had parity with the dollars. It was like 1 to 1. Now it's like 1,000 to 1. So sometimes that same volatility that we see in crypto, like we see in Bitcoin, fiat currencies are also subject to that. But instead of having the free market, managing that volatility, in this case, it's been the government and the state intervention. So for us at Titan DAO, it's actually quite important to try to build a solution for regular people, on the streets, to make payments that are fast and easy. And then the question comes to like, what should we use, right? Like, should we use USDT? Should we use USDC? Should we use, what stablecoin? And actually, there's no stablecoin better than a Bitcoin backed stablecoin, which is a completely new system.
Okay, so Siren USD it's stablecoin backed by the Bitcoin.
Exactly. So the way it works is that you get a smart contract wallet that we call a safety deposit box. And that safety deposit box, it basically enables you to become your own bank. So by depositing your Bitcoin there, so instead of holding your Bitcoin in your wallet, and at the moment you cannot do much by just holding, unless if you're just MicroStrategy or like a huge company that is able to like leverage that. But for most users, holding means just saving. So with Titan, what we're doing is you can hold your Bitcoin in your safety deposit box, and then you can print the stable coin. So in the Web3 world, this is called minting. So you're basically creating a new digital dollar that is backed by the value that you have in Bitcoin in your safety deposit box. So if you have $150 in Bitcoin, you're able to print $100. And you're doing this like banks print money, like the M2 supply that
Okay,
grown.
okay. So, for example, if I have $1,000 in Bitcoin, so I will get how much in the Siren USD? But the Bitcoin is on the safety deposit book, and I got the Siren USD. And what I can do with the Siren USD? Can I do to like to the maybe in the Bitcoin there is like maybe in the future we have a GameFi on the Bitcoin, or we have staking on the others.
Yeah. So the amount of values that you
Yeah.
put in safety deposit box, if you're saying you're putting $1,000,
Yep.
then you're able to print and withdraw two-thirds of that value. So around 666, dollars. So two-thirds of the value of your Bitcoin you can print, and the other third is the kind of like the warranty or the over collateralization ratio. So those $666 they are actually backed by $1,000 worth of Bitcoin. This way, we are sure that the peg is 1 to 1. And then once you have it in your wallet, you can use it as a Bitcoin native token. So at the moment, the first implementation is a BRC20 token. and we're also working towards runes and other, Bitcoin native standards.
Okay. Okay. Cool. Cool to hear that because I have a podcast before with some of some people that have idea to utilize the Bitcoin net worth because Bitcoin almost $2 billion market cap and it's huge. And some people have like opinion Bitcoin only a few percent of amount of the TVL goes to DeFi. If we compare to the Ethereum, Solana, they have at least 50%, 15% of the TVL from the DeFi. So what do you think about this Bitcoin evolution? And also, I mean, not Bitcoin's evolution, but the people have like idea what the ICP did with the chain fusion. So how do you see about this?
Yeah. So, sometimes when we compare to other platforms like Ethereum and Solana, I've seen something that they have is actually smart contracts, right? So they have like the ability to create like more complex programs in an independent way without relying on other platforms. When it comes to Bitcoin, the smart contract language, like the scripting for Bitcoin, is a bit more complex. So it doesn't have the same versatility, at least yet, to create those applications. Therefore, we need other tools that complement Bitcoin and that give us that functionality with smart contracts. At the moment, the main platform, I think the most trustworthy technology to do this is the internal computer. It's the one that has been also kind of like first to the market to create smart contracts that are native to Bitcoin without having to, bridge your Bitcoin to another side chain or layer two, whatever. That basically means that you're using more like a centralized bridge, but with the internal computer, you can have your own bridge. So in your safety deposit box, you could say that you are also using the internal computer, but you're using it in a decentralized way. You have your own stack, your own bridge in your own safety deposit box.
Okay, okay, cool. So that's why you let's I can say you guys have a collaboration with ICP, or you have another thing that you can share here on the table. What you guys cooking with the Definity team or with the ICP with the
Yeah,
Tyron though, because you guys already a few years ago, if I'm not wrong, because I talked with you years ago, right? Or this year, yeah.
so basically, the internal computer has been around since 2021. So before that, Tyron DAO has been working with Silica, and we're still developing new decentralized applications with Silica. Um, that was a different protocol. So instead of focusing on decentralized finance, like now on Bitcoin with a stablecoin, actually it's related to decentralized identity. So a bit, maybe by that time the market also sometimes it's not ready for technology that hasn't have the same, impact in daily life, like decentralized identity. Like imagine 2020, 2019, talking about decentralized identity was something kind of complex. It is still pretty complex, but the important thing there is that actually enable us to implement more self-sovereign identity and decentralized identity solutions in our current work with Bitcoin. And this is why every user has their own smart contract wallet, their own safety deposit box where you can see your Bitcoin holdings at all times. And it's not like mixed with other users' funds and so on. So in this new stage, we are combining all the benefits of our Silica experience with our internal computer experience and getting the support from Definity to build these new features for Siron USD.
Yeah, if you talk about Siren USD and you have been shared before with the ICP, you guys have the experience with Silica, with the Tyron DAO. So I think you guys already built and development the project. So can you share what your current stage of the development of the Tyron DAO?
Yeah. So right now, if you go to tyrondao.org and you access our applications, app.tyrondao.org, you can already create your very own safety deposit box, make a Bitcoin deposit. So the recommended amount is only 1,000 Satoshis. That's around, $1 50. Um, and then you can print the Siren USD and you can withdraw them into your Bitcoin wallet. So we're using Unisat, and you can receive in your Unisat around 60 cents in Siren USD on Bitcoin mainnet. So with the current gas fees, this only costs a few dollars in the transaction fee for the Bitcoin miners. But actually, you can create a stable coin that is over collateralized with Bitcoin and on Bitcoin mainnet. So this is something very important with the internet computer, that we can already create applications and try them out on production using mainnet instead of using other technologies that are not mature enough and that they don't have a mainnet yet.
Okay, okay, that's cool. So we can create this safety deposit box right now, Trakan.
Yeah, yeah,
Okay,
exactly.
okay.
Also, you can earn Bitcoin.
Okay. And by the way, how about the gas fee? You talk like it's only few dollars, but we know the gas fee for people like buying PRC20 or Ordinal is very expensive, and we only can store how many kilobyte or bytes data, and it goes to expensive with Bitcoin. And how about this? Why this become cheapest on the Tyrant DAO?
Yeah. So at the moment, for example, these last few days, the price of the gas has been lower than after Trump won. So when Trump there was like a crazy like pump in the crypto markets, and that means that there's more activity. The more activity there is, the higher the cost for the gas and the transactions on Bitcoin. So when we have also for the halving in April, the gas fees were crazy, like 200 satoshis per byte, while at the moment you can do it for 5. So it's a huge difference, right? This depends on the activity on the network. So it's not like every day you have to pay those gas fees. So it's basically a matter of like being patient, checking what's the current gas fee, and when you think it's a good time because it's cheap to do it, then treating your Bitcoin as digital gold, and basically that means that as digital gold, it has some cost. It cannot be moved just for free, but actually, compared to like legacy systems, you can move millions and billions of dollars worth of Bitcoin for like a very low transaction fee compared to the legacy or traditional system.
Yeah, I'm agree with you. If I have $1 million, it's going to be more cheapest using Bitcoin to send money or send to the other country. And I'm interested that you mentioned about Bitcoin is the digital gold. So if you talk Bitcoin is the digital gold, how do you see the upcoming of the Bitcoin? Why Bitcoin needs DeFi? Are Bitcoin machine need DeFi? Because there is a lot of whales have a Bitcoin. If we have a DeFi on the Bitcoin ecosystem on top of Bitcoin, I think it's going to amazing. So how do you see about this?
Yeah. So, thinking about Bitcoin like a new gold standard, which digital gold, but also that enables the creation of something of value, something that we can use in our daily lives to help us, as a society, be better and sort of like go through all these different challenges like inflation. So that's when I think like the gold standard becomes like very relevant. But then at the same time, when you're trading Bitcoin as gold, it means that it's not something that you would move a lot. So how can you make more money out of your Bitcoin while holding it? And then that's when Bitcoin DeFi comes in, which is not the same as DeFi in other platforms where you are usually taking more risk, But with this version that we're working with Tyron DAO and Bitcoin DeFi, means that you can earn more Bitcoin while keeping control and ownership of your Bitcoin in your safety deposit box by using the stablecoin. So you can leverage the stablecoin. So, in your example before, you said you had $1,000 worth of Bitcoin. Using Tyron DAO, you're going to have $1,700 worth of capital. This way, you are already increasing your capital efficiency. Instead of having 1,000, now you have, two-thirds more, and you can use those $700 to pay for your rent, make payments, or invest in other tokens. So we're also working towards that, like how you can leverage your Siron to use it in DeFi applications. And we have a very native use case for Bitcoin DeFi in the Tyron app, which is liquidating other accounts. So if the Bitcoin price drops, let's say your $1,000 worth of Bitcoin starts going down because Bitcoin is going down, and then you have 900 worth of Bitcoin and 800. So there's a limit because the $700 that you took out, they always need to be back by more Bitcoin. So when there's like a threshold, an opportunity comes for other users to liquidate your account using their Siren. Therefore, those Siren that you can have, you can use them to liquidate other accounts and earn that surplus in Bitcoin. And what you are going to be earning is Bitcoin on layer one. So you're not going to be earning, like other token in a different network. You're actually going to be receiving real Bitcoin in your Bitcoin wallet.
Okay. Okay. I think a Bitcoin DeFi is like the perfect version of, some people we staking on the centralized exchange. We stake Bitcoin, we only get a few percents, but the Bitcoin is going to the checks because check is check, centralized is centralized. So I think with the Bitcoin DeFi, it's going to be have bridging a lot of web3 or traditional people to the Bitcoin, reality, like a decentralized way, like 100% on the Bitcoin network. So but I believe there is a challenge if we want to bring a DeFi to Bitcoin. So what do you think, or what the biggest challenge do you see, Trakan, as the engineering to about this, like a Bitcoin DeFi?
Yeah. So maybe one of the first challenges for adoption is the fact that people want to treat their Bitcoin as gold. MicroStrategy, they have a strategy of not selling their Bitcoin, and then they can leverage through their stocks or options. So they have like other financial instruments to do that. And many like Bitcoin maxis, they also want to keep their Bitcoin. They don't trust anyone else to hold their Bitcoin for them. So that's one of the challenges that we now see, that perhaps with ordinals and runes, more degens are getting into Bitcoin. Degens usually have more, like a risk appetite, and they are willing to experiment with these new technologies as long as they can make a profit. So I feel like we are going into this new Bitcoin season, like people are calling it, and that means that we're going to be getting more experimentation on Bitcoin. And then the difference is going to be: do you have to take your Bitcoin out of your control, or you can keep them in a wallet that you control, even though that wallet is a smart contract wallet, therefore it's subject to code. But the fact that it's subject to code, we can say that it's trustless. You don't have to trust a centralized exchange or a bank. You only have to trust the code. And the code is open source. The code is audited by the internal computer, using battle tested technologies developed by Definity and the ICP community. So that means that you can keep control of your Bitcoin using more decentralized technologies, and that's like a really good option to have to make more money, to earn Bitcoin out of that.
Okay, cool. Cool, cool, cool. Opinion from you, Trakan. But I forget to asking about this because you said if we have Bitcoin, we can mint Siren USD. So it means where we can use it. Do you have any, cooperation with the other protocols? Like we can use Siren USD on the other platform or the other, partnership with you, so we can maximum the utility from the Siren USD.
Exactly. So we have a partnership, a collaboration with the Omnity network to bring Syron USD into their interoperability hub. And right now we are looking into BitLayer as the first Bitcoin layer 2 solution to bring the Syron USD stablecoin and be able to use that with smart contracts on BitLayer. At the same time, the main use case that we want to focus for Siron is related to the liquidations that I was mentioning before, because that's also related to like the safety of the overall system. And then something that I'm working right now with Definity is a payment system. So you're gonna be able to make digital payments using Siren USD without thinking about gas or without thinking about the 10-minute block of Bitcoin. You're going to be able to send payments straight away to other accounts on Tyron, and then they can withdraw those dollars to their Bitcoin wallet. But that transfer is going to be like super fast, and that's the next future that we are bringing.
Okay. Okay. Before I wrap up this podcast, still have few questions to you, because you know a project, it means they should have a token. Do you guys, the Tyron DAO, have a token, and what the token names, and it is already on the market, or when you going to be on the market?
So we had some experimentation about the governance token. So that's called like the Tyron token. And we are going to be sharing some exciting news in that regard. A decentralized system where you can actually acquire the Tyron token, and at the same time, that system is going to be open source for other projects that contribute with Tyron DAO or that want to, join us in this effort. So, for example, if you want to launch your own token, you're going to be able to use the same centralized tools to do so. So that's like on one hand. On the other hand, part of the governance token, we are bringing them to Bitcoin as some meme coins. So the idea is that, yeah, like 3% of the Titan token, so around 100,000 tokens are going to be BRC20, and you can mint them now as part of the open mint at tyrondao.org. Then the other token is 3%, and that's like 300,000 runes. It's called Runes of Sirens. We had like an open mint of 10,000 that went by like super fast. But I'm really excited about the fact that people were so keen to mint the token. Unfortunately, first come first serve. Someone minted most of them. We actually don't know who that person is. But yeah, thanks for the interest, and just know that the rest of the Sirens, Runes of Sirens, we're going to be distributing them in an airdrop. So if you go to our application and you create your safety deposit box, you receive Siren, you are already participating and earning points for the Runes of Sirens airdrop, which I think will happen sometime between the first quarter or second quarter of 2025. So in a few months, just to give some time, for the protocol to evolve a bit more. And regarding the Runes of Sirens, we're also launching like Storytale. So it's like a 3-chapter storytale about Bitcoin, about the origins of Tyron. Back with NFTs, also on Silica, we had like a collection of 3 dragons, and this year was like the year of the dragon. So it was good to bring them into this story as the origin of the story that then develops into some magical runes, and through those 3 rooms we want to kind of like talk more about like the story of Bitcoin and the values that are what are driving us forward for the DAO, which are like independence, freedom, and community. So the first chapter is already available there on tyrondao.org.
Cool, cool. So, guys, you can check out the Tyron DAO.org. There is some information on there about the runes, about the BRC20, about the Trakan say that memes part some of the percentage of the token is going to be memes on the Bitcoin, which is cool. And you saw that the demand of for the Tyrant from the community of Bitcoin is huge. That's why I believe it. I believe it is going to be huge. By the way, I want to ask you about this. You guys with the ICP, will you have like token launch on the ICP, or are you going to be SNS?
Yeah. So, another part of the Titan tokens. So, Tyron again is the governance token for the DAO. We are talking about bringing a considerable portion of those tokens into ICP to govern the smart contracts. So you know that our smart contracts, your safety deposit box is managed by smart contract wallet. That smart
Mm,
contract is actually part of a more complex system on the internal computer called canisters. And those
canister, yeah.
canisters, yeah, and those canisters, they usually have a controller, right? So the internal computer has like a very cool solution for governance of these canisters, which is the SSN DAO. You basically give control of the canisters to a decentralized organization. So if you want to make an update, we were talking about that immutable code of your smart contract wallet, that code that is trustless, that you can see how it works. Well, what happens if someone says that, hey, let's add a new feature to your safety deposit box? That would be an update to the code. So in order to make that update, it's important that there's like a governance proposal behind and that everything is more transparent. So for that matter, I'm really keen on exploring the SSN DAO on the internal computer. And ultimately, I think it depends on, growing the community with internal computer. We are still kind of new in the ecosystem because we just arrived this year. We're also very much focused on Bitcoin, but knowing that the internet computer, it is the technology behind stablecoin that is enabling this implementation as PRC20. So yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing what else
Okay.
with the internet computer.
I also am looking forward, Rakan, to the future of the Tyrando governance token, and I hope your community is growing on the ICP also, because the ICP community also growing right now. And yeah, we hope you guys deliver a good thing to to maximum and the utility of the Bitcoin DeFi with the Tyrando. And I think that's a wrap up for today podcast. By the way, where community can go if they want to take a look or want to know the update from the Tyron DAO.
Yeah, I would love to invite them to come to Telegram, Tyron DAO, and also, our website is tyrondao.org. If you want to follow us on X, it's Tyron DAO, also Tyron underscore org. And basically, under Titan DAO, you can find us on the internet. We're also on LinkedIn. But if you feel, like asking some questions, just being, on a daily basis, part of Titan DAO, definitely come to Telegram. And if you want to stay up to date with the news, I would also encourage you to sign up and, subscribe at titandao.org. And that way you kind of become part of our DAO. You start receiving the emails, and you also earn 500 points for the leaderboard of Runes of Sirens and the upcoming airdrop.
Cool, cool, cool. I think that's a wrap for today episode of Chance Spotlight. Huge thanks for you, Trakan, to be our guest and talking the behind scan of the Tyrondo. Kudos to you, Trakan. Thank you.
Thanks so much, Bev. Yeah, it's been a pleasure. And yeah, I hope to talk soon again.
Okay, okay, guys. Thank you. If excited about the Siren USD, excited about the Tyrondo, or curious about ICP, or you want to know about the Zilliqa, make sure you check the Tyrondo social media and join the community. Don't forget also to like, share this podcast so we get more insight. And see you in the next time. Stay
See ya.
decentralized and keep building the future. Thank you, everyone. Bye bye.
Thank you.